Hello, guys, and welcome to Hybrid Warfare Analytical Group's new podcast, a podcast taking on Russian hybrid threats and tools of influence Russian propaganda employs, produced by Ukraine Crisis Media Center. And I am your host, Matt Wickham. So, guys, today in this first episode of such a format, we will be discussing our most recent article in more detail. And today we are joined by Volodymyr Solovian, head of the Hybrid Warfare Analytical Group unit, and senior analyst Anton Khimiak. Discussion of today's episode is our team's recent article, Yemen, a New Frontier, against the Axis of Evil, or a manifestation of the West's failure to act, in which the guys explore what a Western military operation in the southern Arabian Peninsula could mean for Russia's influence in the Middle East and around the world. So just to kick us off, let's start with our first question. I'm going to chuck this one over to Anton. Anton, just tell our listeners a little bit more about the article in a nutshell, and what did you aim to bring from this analysis?
Our article examines the US allied military operation against Yemen Houthis, the primary purpose of which, according to the White House, is to ensure the safety of shipping in the Red Sea, one of the most important routes of world trade. The attacks on civilian and military vessels in the region involve Iran as the main ally of Ansar Allah Houthi organization, and so this operation is already taking on a more global character. It can be interpreted as a confrontation of democratic forces against the Austro-Union axis of evil, which includes Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea. In our article, we explore the consequences of this operation, including commentary from leading experts and UCMC's head, Valery Charlie, and what they will mean for global security.
Let's talk a little bit more about this axis of evil you got there going there. So, Volodymyr, let's welcome you onto the podcast. And first question I've got for you is, how does the Bab el-Mandeb Strait relate to the free world versus the Tehran-Moscow axis of evil, as you described it in your analysis?
Thanks for your question. So, to start with, I'd like to mention that Bab el-Mandeb Strait is of great importance for global trade. It sees around 15% of global maritime trade, especially 8% of grain trade and 8% of liquid gas trade, which is exported through this strait towards Europe from Russia and towards China and India as well. So if Russian and Iran coalition will achieve its goal of blocking this strait, it will hit the global economy, because alternative route is 7,000 kilometers longer than strait through Suez Channel. It means that prices will rise in Europe, and it will be a blow for global economy. So it has a great importance on the global market. That means that the West should react, and we are witnessing that strikes on Houthi facilities in Yemen occurred. But let's say frankly that without any operation on the ground, the West will not achieve its goals, because a Houthi regime controls about 280 kilometers of coast of Red Sea, and that provides them a great opportunity to hit cargo ships which are following Red Sea. So this operation will continue for a long time, and it is unclear whether the West will achieve its goals. To my mind, without targeting states that provide missiles and goods and financial support for Houthi regime, I mean Iran, without targeting underground facilities where these missiles and drones are produced, there will be no success for the West in the Yemen and the region as a whole.
And we're definitely seeing the start of this conflict emerge now, and it really starting to gain momentum. Only last night as well, more strikes were taken in the region by the Western coalition. Volodymyr, tell me more about the Russian propaganda side of it. So what narratives do Russian propaganda and their campaign promote in the Arab world about the Yemen conflict? What is their narrative at the moment?
Russia tries to integrate into local agenda because anti-Hamas operation in Gaza faced with unprecedented reaction around Arabic world, and Russia tries to impose its narratives around this Muslim audience around Arabic world. It has very precise instruments, especially RT Arabic, which occurs a big amount of audience around Arabic countries. And from my perspective, the main narrative is about whataboutism. So Russia tries to impose its sentiment that if Western countries have a right to attack and to strike Houthi objects in Yemen, why Russia had no chance or right to succeed in Ukraine and to protect its so-called natural sphere of interest. That is the main target for Russian propaganda to spread its narrative of whataboutism among Arabic audiences.
Absolutely, we are definitely seeing this whataboutism emerging a lot more, and obviously some other narratives about the start of the World War III in order to hype up the situation and to turn the discourse of the attention away from the situation in Ukraine to the Middle East. Thanks, Volodymyr. Tell me, Anton, a little bit more about Russia's and the Kremlin's influence in the region. So you've got obviously RT Arabic's regional office in Algeria. You mentioned in your article that this Russian media outlook is influencing the Arab public opinion. How are they doing this, and what kind of unique strategies and narratives are they using?
Yeah, actually, the Russian presence in the Arab world has been ongoing and growing for many years. Since 2007, an Arabic edition of Russian Today, Russia's leading Kremlin-controlled media, has been created under the name Russia Al-Yawm. And according to some estimates, their news site is the top visited on the par with and sometimes even overtaking Al Jazeera and CNN Arabic. So the Kremlin is actively working on forming public opinion through such hybrid warfare tools, and it's precisely because of this that UA and EU sanctions were imposed against RT Arabic in February 2022. In general, the channel's narratives about the war in Ukraine or the promotion of multipolar world are not much different from Russian editorials. The coverage of such local news regarding military operations is highly distorted. It is evident that among their main narratives is an attempt to turn the local population as strong as possible against the West and consequently anti-democratic, strengthening Russia's influence in the region.
Thank you very much, guys, for your quick and short and in-depth analysis of your recent article. For the listeners to, if they want to learn more about this subject and to find the deeper kind of analysis of what the guys were writing about, go to our website, visit the Hybrid Warfare Analytical Group section, and you will find the article, Yemen, a New Frontier Against the Axis of Evil, or a Manifestation of the West's Failure to Act. Thank you, and see you next time.